Welcome to everyone joining us for this preview. We're racing at the Vaal Classic 12:10, the first race over 1,450 meters, being a 9-race program. Good to have Devon Govender in studio today. Welcome, Devon.
Thanks very much, Sheldon. Looks like a very nice card, but a little bit tricky as well at the Vaal.
So let's get straight into the action for race number 1. As I mentioned, the first race is over 1,450 meters, the Vaal Classic track, where number 1 Future Wolf is 2-1, number 8 Stroke of Mercy 5-2, number 6 Jet Dynasty, a very well-bred individual, a son of Dynasty out of the Jet Master mare, Jet Bell. The comment from the stable is will probably need the experience, but wouldn't be surprised to see number 6 Jet Dynasty run a cracker. Devon, between numbers 1 Future Wolf and number 8 Stroke of Mercy, who would be your first selection?
I've narrowly elected to go with number 1 Future Wolf, holding solid form. 3 good recent last starts, and one of these days he's going to get it right. I make the immediate danger number 8 Stroke of Mercy, and I suggest to all the punters keep a close eye on those first timers when they're going down to the start and take note of the betting.
There we have it from Devon. Keep a close eye on the betting on those first timers, some well-bred individuals, but he is narrowly in the camp of number 1 Future Wolf, and number 8 Stroke of Mercy will be the main danger on form at this stage. Let's move on to race number 2, which is over 2,400 meters. So they're going to start to stretch them out, and we're going to see who stays best of all on the day. Now, Devon, looking at race number 2, number 1, Sir Talon's going to be my narrow first selection. Although 3 runs back is well held by Mirren, I just get the feel a horse who's going to put that run behind, and after that decent third to Master of Coin last time out, has a neat draw. A horse who is trying the distance for the first time, but judged on the runs over 2,000 meters, I think this is a horse who's going to run an absolute cracker. Barring number 1, Sir Talon, there's a number of horses in with chances. Which way are you leaning?
Yeah, I quite like number 1, Sir Talon, does form part of my top 4 selections. I also like number 6, Liverpool Legend. If you look at a horse like Sir Talon, he just needs things to map out for him. You know, I've fancied him on a number of occasions on many of his runs. He hasn't quite delivered yet, but JP van der Merwe aboard, he's probably going to get the run of the race here based on how this race is going to be run. I do make Liverpool Legend a big runner as well as number 4 Flag Bearer and number 3. But like you said, there are many horses with form and many of them do have chances. Top 4 selections for me, 6, 4, 1 and 3. Anything else you want to add to that, Sheldon?
I think you've pretty much touched all the bases there. You've touched on all the horses that we do expect to run absolute crackers. And if number 1, Sir Talon, delivers his best, he once upon was at 89 in the ratings. He's running off a 70. He had the 1 run for the stable, and I believe this will be his race to lose. As we go on to race number 3, race number 3 is due off at 13:10, and this will be run over 1,700 meters. Having a look at the anti-post betting, number 10, Otto Luyken is 22-10. Number 6, King of Rome is 28-10. And then we have number 1, Big Guy at 7-2. Devon, a little bit of a congested betting market.
Yes.
Where are you leaning in the third race?
I quite like number 6, King of Rome. Improving with each and every start lens-wise. I see now 1,700. The last run was over 1,700. He was narrowly beaten. There's 0.2 lengths by African Torrent. There's not going to be much separating numbers 6 and number 10, Otto Luyken. That's currently trading at 2-1. They stepped him first time out over 1,700 meters, and he only got beat 0.6 lengths. That was a small field of 7 runners though, but Ryan Munger is riding at the top of his game, and I do make it between numbers 6 and 10. Healthy respect for number 1, Big Guy as well, who's never far off the action. Caden Brewer aboard, Alec Laird. Keep a close eye on that one as well.
So that is a look at race number 3, and I'm just going to ask Devon about one more runner, which is currently at 33-1, and that is number 11, Royal Raphael from the St. John Gray stable. Now, if you look at the first run, that form line has been well franked. The second run, very disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing. Needs to improve on that last run. Muzi Yeni is aboard. I see Samanga Kumalo rode this horse last time and was 8-1 in the betting market now. Last time I checked was 25-1, probably drifted out now. So needs to improve, but lightly raced, deserves another chance.
As we move along to race number 4, being an unrace program, race number 4 is due off at 13:45, and this will be the time that you need to get your pick 6 bets on over 1600 meters. You can see the runners, the trainers, and the riders on screen. Looking at the current betting, we have number 1 Ablon at 28-10. Number 3, Captain of Grit, 3-1. Number 5, Wolf's World, 6-1. And then 7-1, and better the rest. Devon, I'm going to start off with a bit of a roughie here with number 4, Ballon d'Or. Although last time out, number 3, Captain of Grit, did beat Ballon d'Or very, very comfortably.
Yes.
I feel that number 4, Ballon d'Or, and number 3, Captain of Grit, these are my 2 horses that I have selected to follow. Captain of Grit will probably be the narrow selection on that last run, but I think Ballon d'Or could be quite dangerous and put that last run behind.
Yeah, it is possible if he puts that last run behind. What's going to help him? He's got the Apprentice claiming the 4 kgs. I didn't include this in my top 4 selections, but you made a good case for this horse. I also like number 3, Captain of Grit. Solid last run, a repeat performance of that. We'll see him in the mix. I quite like number 1, Ablan from the Mike de Kock yard. The stable's in form. We did see on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, they brought a horse after a long, lengthy layoff, ended up winning. This is this horse's 3rd run after rest, extremely well bred. It's got a reasonable draw with JP van der Merwe aboard, and I do make number 1, Ablan, the horse to beat.
There we have it. Number 1, Ablon is the horse to beat for Devon in race number 4. As we shoot through to race number 5. Race number 5 will be run over a distance of 1600 meters. And let's have a look at the current anti-post betting. And I think Devon and I will be in the same camp here with number 2, High Moon at 7-2. Number 3, Secret Giver is 4-1. But number 2, High Moon, if you look at the overall form, still a one-time winner from the 21 runs to date. I thought he would have been a 3 or 4-time winner by now.
Yes.
So this is the ideal race for him to crack that second victory.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door, Sheldon. He's got Calvin Habib aboard, who knows him extremely well. He's got a reasonable draw as well. Yes, he's carrying 61.5, but if you look at his last 2 runs, he ran an average rating of 73 and 75. And this race's average rating is 62, so he's got to have an undeniable chance. Probably make the biggest danger number 4, San Quintin, a lightly raced horse from the Fortune yard. Ryan Munger is aboard. He's riding extremely well. And then also throw in number 3, Secret Giver, who's currently trading at 3-1, never far off the action lengthwise.
Talking about Secret Giver, Pierce Stradham, he's one of those top class riders, so you can never leave him out. He's got a horse with a lot of form here. And this is a horse who, he seems to crack awkward draws every now and again.
Yes.
But with Pierce Stradham aboard, the master's up.
Yeah, he's going to get the best out of him in the saddle.
So that is race number 5, which is over a trip of 1600 meters. On to race number 6, which is over 1000 meters. So that is down the straight. So that'll be down the straight, 1000 meters, the Vaal Classic. And looking at race number 6, they have priced up the favourite. Let's just get this betting updated here for race number 6, where number 1, Master Archie, is 7-2. Valdorcia, number 3, is 9-2. Number 5, Sound of Warning, 5-1. Looking at the conditions of the race, number 5, Sound of Warning, that's the horse they have to beat at the weight department. 7, Kissing Point, and number 1, Master Archie. Are you going with the boys or the girls here?
I'll be going with number 1, Master Archie. The last time I checked was trading at 35-10. I think is a class package. Healthy respect for number 5, Sound of Warning. But you know, Sheldon, a lot of these horses are coming after a small break, like 75 days. Some of them 103 days. A lot of them have class on their side, and they're probably going to need this run. They're going to have prep runs because they've got bigger fish to fry come the season going forward.
So what we're trying to tell the punters is be a little bit on the cautious side, throw in as many runners as your budget will allow.
Many of them have chances as well. It just depends how ready each one of them are.
On the day, this is a race where you'll need to look at them in the paddock, watch them go down to the start and see if there's any significant support for any runner in race number 6. Shooting through to race number 7, which is over 1,200 meters, so that will be around the turn. Race number 7, very, very tricky. In my budget, I'll be going the field in race number 7. You got horses that, number 6, What a Honey. Yes. Obviously coming off 2 very, very good wins, beating Vivacious Spirit and Peyton's Tears last time out. Seems quite versatile over the 12, the 14, 50. But distance-wise, 2 of the 3 wins have come over this trip of 1,200 meters. Looking at the draw, Craig Zaki, who I believe will also be going with Warren Kennedy soon to New Zealand.
Yes, I read about that online the other day. Very nice.
So good to see our jockeys. They'll be flying the flag overseas. So number 6, What a Honey, has a good chance. Number 7, On Cue for me, quite an interesting runner with Sosiba aboard, gets the 4 kilograms off the back. Now when you have a look at this runner's resume, 24 runs, 4 wins, 4 seconds, 6 thirds and 5 fourths. So here's a horse who does not know how to run a bad race, Devon.
Yeah, you got to throw this horse in with the 4 kg claim aboard. If she does bring her A game, she's definitely warrants healthy respect. And I think Sheldon summed it up. Sheldon, you summed it up beautifully. Majority of these runners have chances. You spoke about number 6, What a Honey. Also a horse like number 4, Emerald Princess. You can't ignore a horse from the Sean Terry yard. This was with Paul Peter, but the last 3 starts, she was a winner. Calvin Habib aboard. So you can make a case for quite a number of these runners. So Sheldon suggested go the field, and I'm in full agreement with him.
Next up is race number 8, which is due off at 16:05, the penultimate race of the afternoon. The distance is 1,200 meters, so they will go around the turn. Number 1, Rosen Wind, is 18-10, along with number 3, Aga Heat. At this time of recording, scratched is number 5, Burmese Tiara. Does that make it any easier?
Yeah, it's not an easy race. I know it's a tricky race, but I've elected to go with number 1, Rose Wind, as a place accumulator banker. You touched on that betting, 18-10. The last run was cut into, despite that ran a good race. I do think that she's good enough to bank her in the place accumulator. Healthy respect for number 3, Aga Heat, if I'm not mistaken. I remember you called that race that day, and they were fighting it out at the finish, Ethiopian Queen and Aga Heat. And Aga Heat just got up by an absolute nostril, but is holding solid form there. Look at the form. Last 2 runs was a winner. Muzi Yeni back aboard. He knows the horse very well.
One other runner to chat on will be about number 2, Princess Ozma. 75 days off the track, has now joined the Sean Terry outfit. When you look at this filly, she won on debut. She then ran second in her second race, and after that she's been kept in feature races. So dropping to a 77 divided handicap, this is a horse who could certainly make a presence felt.
Yeah, healthy respect. If you're taking a pick 6 and jackpot and things, you've got to throw a horse like that in number 2, Princess Ozma. Also healthy respect coming from the Terry yard. He'll have it tuned to the moment.
And then we'll move on to race number 9. This is the final event, being a 9-race program, so don't stray away. Stay on till 16:40. The distance is 1,200 meters. Number 9, Back to Basics, is 33-10. Number 1, Great Times, is 4-1. Number 4, Iron Tail, 5-1. And then 6-1, and Better the Rest. Now, Devon, number 4, Iron Tail, is my solid first selection. Went to the Vaal last time, joined the Cornet Spiss stable, and I just thought it was generously priced up at around 20 and 25-1. So I liked a bit of Iron Tail last time out, and really came on at the business end. Got up on the post when it mattered most. That was over 1,400 meters. Let's look at the distance. Has a win and 2 seconds and a third over 1,200. I'm bullish about number 4, Iron Tail, going back to back, so I will be following this one again. The only slight concern is dropping back to the 1,200 nowadays. Might just be looking for that little bit extra.
Yeah, but you know, a Cornet Spiss, they do extremely well. I'm sure he'll have this horse ready, and they know exactly what they're doing. Marco van Rensburg, he's ridden the horse in his last start. He'll be looking for another win on the bounce, so healthy respect for that. My narrow first selection, Sheldon, is number 9, Back to Basics, currently trading at 33-10. Last 2 runs were very good when finishing second on both occasions, knocking on the door. Klink has ridden this horse in the last start over 1200, so he'll be looking to go one better. He was narrowly beaten by Dancing Dora. And then Healthy Respect for number 1, Great Times as well, who's holding solid form lengthwise, never far off the action. Eddie Grayling is aboard. This will jump from Barrier Gate 8. So for me, I like numbers 9 and 1. And yes, Healthy Respect for your selection. Number 4, Iron Tail, must have a chance of repeating that last effort.
So for the viewers out there, maybe take those 3 horses, take the exactas boxed and play around those 3 horses for the swingers, the trifectas and the quartets. Now let's move along to the shortlist, where we'll give you some horses that need to be followed and some suggested bankers as far as the exotics go. When we get on to my shortlist, pretty simple. Race 5, number 2, High Moon. That'll be a bipod banker and a place accumulator banker for me. And then 2 horses that I have selected to watch out in the same race. Race 4, number 3, Captain of Grit, who is well fancied, whereas number 4, Ballon d'Or, is at a much more backable price. So those are the horses to watch out for. And I'll go as far as to say Iron Tail in the lucky last race. That's probably going to be for me one of the plays of the day. Play around that with your exactas and your swingers. I think this is going to be a huge runner on the day. And closing up, Devon.
Thanks very much, Sheldon. I'm going to take you through to my shortlist. I've got 3 place accumulator bankers for you. Starting in race number 5, I've gone with number 2, High Moon. Last runs were extremely good, ran in a 73 and 75, is now running in a field of an average rating of 62, so should be good enough to banker in the place accumulator, top 3 position. I do think that this horse is very capable of winning as well. Moving on to race number 8, number 1, Rosewind is another place accumulator banker, lightly raced, good last run despite being cut into, so include that in all your bets. Then wrapping it up in race number 9, Back to Basics. Good last 2 runs, and I think takes on a similar class of field here. Should be good enough to banker in the place accumulator. So that is a wrap from myself, Devon Govender, and Sheldon Peters. Sheldon, it's been an absolute pleasure working alongside you, and we wish you a very good day's racing come Thursday at the Vaal.